Hey everybody, it's Patrick. It's Tuesday, and on Tuesdays I talk about long hair. Today I thought I would start talking about the basics of long hair. A lot of guys who watch this channel have had long hair for quite a while, but I do know that I get a lot of comments from people who are just starting out, so I thought that it would be really helpful to cover some things that people who have had long hair for a long time might not think about too much. Today's topic is hair ties. Now, you wouldn't think that there's much to talk about with hair ties, and indeed this is going to be a pretty short video, but there are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind when you're talking about hair bands or hair ties, especially when you're talking about keeping your hair in the best shape possible. Now, the first thing is incredibly basic, and you've probably been told this, but if you haven't, I do want to let you know that you really should not use office supply elastics to tie back your hair. Hair ties or hair bands are always fabric, or they're made out of a material that won't catch your hair as you are pulling it out or putting your hair up. Now, you can catch your hair a bit in these elastics, but if you try to use just a rubber band or something that you would use to tie up papers or something at the office, you're just going to, the elastic in it is going to pull so stretchy, it's going to actually snag your hair and pull it out as you pull out your ponytail or your bun or whatever. So even if you're tempted to use one just on a short-term basis, make sure that you don't, because you can really cause a lot of damage to your hair. Now, hair ties come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. I have some from hair ties for guys that I really like. These ones aren't all that stretchy. They kind of don't have a lot of give after you go to a certain length. This works really well for a looser style. I also have ones that are different colors. They're round. They come in round or flat, different colors so that you can hide them within your hair. If you get one that looks like your hair color, this one's gray, so it's very close to what my hair would be. You can, and these ones slide in and out of your hair very easily, especially the round ones that are covered in fabric. They will, when you put them into your hair, when you pull it out, it's just going to slide out really easily. And that's one thing that you want to look for. The other thing that I tend to look for is that it does not have, where it's connected, I don't like them to have any metal parts. I have seen hair elastics that have a little metal closure that keep those, the two ends of the bands together. I think that that's really not good for your hair. Again, we're talking about snagging your hair in something that can pull your hair out. And that's what we're talking about in terms of keeping your hair protected when you have it up. On that same note, there are some hair ties that are made out of something other than fabric. This is more of a silicone kind of hair tie. This one also has a little bit of ridges, but I have seen fabric ones that have the fabric on the outside and then that sort of a bead of silicone on the inside. Now, these will hold your hair much more easily than just the fabric. They won't slide down your hair. I have incredibly slippery hair, so hair ties tend to slide down a little bit if I haven't tied it appropriately, and these work really well. The problem with these, again, is that they do tend to catch your hair. So if you have something like this, even if it says that it's protective of your hair, you're going to want to make sure that when you take your hair out of the hair tie, that it is, that you're doing it slowly and you're not just ripping your hair out of the tie. And that's another thing that I do want to stress, is that when you put your hair up or when you take it down, it might seem like it's just a quick nothing. I mean, I'm always putting my hair up and taking it down, especially in summertime when it gets really hot on the back of my neck. I am very guilty of taking the hair tie and just ripping it right out of my hair. And every time I do that, you will see a lot of hair coming out of that. And your hair is precious. You want to keep it. So make sure that you're at least taking a little bit of time to put your hair up and take your hair down. Now, hair ties are not generally very expensive, so you should buy a lot of them. You're going to lose them. They go missing everywhere, especially if you keep them in your pocket like I do. As you take things out of your pocket, you're going to lose a few hair ties. And that's not too bad if you have hair ties that only cost $1 or $2 for a package of 20 or 30 of them. Keep them at hand, and also throw them away after they've gotten a little bit old. It seems kind of wasteful, especially if they haven't broken, but hair ties don't really break all that easily. They do lose their stretchiness, however. So you don't really want to be trying to twist your hair tie 4 or 5 times around your hair, which will cause it to be really tight. It can really I don't know if it causes too much damage, but if you have your hair really, really tightly bound for a long time, I find it causes a lot of discomfort. And you might as well just use a hair tie that works without having to pull your hair too much. Find something that can hold your hair in a style as loosely as possible. And if you want a more slick back appearance, if you want it to look like it's really tight against your head, you can always add some product like some wax or gel into your hair to give you that look without having to really cause strain on your scalp while you've got the hair tie in there. Another reason that you may want to rotate out your hair ties or replace them, replenish them as you go, is that it's a very, very small chance of infection or causing irritation. But remember, you've got this in your hair, and your hair gets dirty, and your scalp gets dirty, and your scalp produces oil, which will get into the hair tie itself. I have noticed every once in a while that the back of my head, exactly where I have the hair tie, sometimes gets a little bit irritated. And I'm sure that that's from the friction of the hair tie hitting in the exact same spot over and over again. But it also could be caused if you have any sort of infection that gets transferred to this. It is a small area, but it is something fabric. You could get that transferred to the back of your neck, and you don't want that to happen. Plus, there's buildup of your styling products, your conditioner, any sort of shampoo, any sort of dirt and oil. You probably don't want that next to your head that often, so just rotate them out. Get a nice supply that you can just use for a reasonable amount of time, but then you can get rid of as well. Like I said, this video is about the basics, and I'm going to try to cover a couple more basics for guys who are just starting out growing their hair, because I think that it's important to keep up with not only the people who have been watching these videos for the past almost 2 years, but also the people who are just starting out. I sometimes find that people are afraid to ask questions because they may think that they're too simple or we're going over too basic information. If you do have questions, whether they're basic or something that nobody has covered before, please leave a comment down below. And if you'd like to keep up with these hair videos, I do them every Tuesday. You can just subscribe, and I would love to see you again next week.